Hello everyone, my name is Len Kolf and I'm the Chief Operating Officer for IronRidge Resources. And I'm here to talk to you about our suite of gold and lithium assets throughout Africa. Just our standard disclaimer. So before I get into the projects, a quick corporate snapshot of who we are. So we're listed on London's AIM. Head office is in Brisbane here in Australia. We've got a very strong board and management team and very supportive shareholders, including Assor Limited, a South African ferrochrome iron ore miner, Sumitomo Corporation, large Japanese conglomerate, and DGR Global Limited, a resources incubator and generator company who you may know of through SolGold, and prior to SolGold there was Orbis Gold in Burkina Faso. So we got a strong treasury with just over $5 million US, and we're very active on the ground in Africa. So where we are, our core assets are gold in Ivory Coast, in particular the Zarinu project, the Awuya lithium discovery in Ghana, and an exciting suite of gold projects in the new frontier of Chad. We've got some legacy assets in Australia, but the focus is well and truly in Africa. Importantly, to preserve our treasury, we have a drilling for equity program with Geodrill. This is used across our suite of assets in Africa, and we're actively drilling now in Ivory Coast and Zarinu. Importantly, again, COVID, so the restrictions in place. Fortunately, we've got a very strong national team in place in Ivory Coast and Ghana, and we've been able to operate throughout the period of the pandemic, obviously with management plans implemented. But we're drilling currently, 3 rigs active in Ivory Coast, and continue to continue with our programs. So Ivory Coast first, gold. So we've got an extensive portfolio in Ivory Coast. Here we're looking at a geology map with all of our licenses in the background. So we've secured just over 3,500 square kilometers in our gold portfolio, targeting major structures along strike from known operating mines or resources. And our core focus is the Zaranou project down in the southeast of the country. So this is where I go to and focus our Ivory Coast presentation on. So the Zaranou license itself, which covers just under 400 square kilometers, is approximately a 4-hour drive from Abidjan on a paved sealed road up to Abengru, and then roughly an hour and a half down south to the town of Zaranou, and where our exploration office is, and good access along the strike length of that license. We're just on the border with Ghana with some large-scale operating mines over there, so a good jurisdiction. In terms of Zarinu, what we saw on the ground when we initially got there were large-scale hard rock artisanal workings, which you can see on the photo on the right here. And you can see where the artisanals originally came in underground adits and shafts, and now they've opened up those structures, exposing mineralization, where you can see the structures and the veins in the pit walls. Outside of that zone of hard rock artisanal workings, we see extensive alluvial workings, and these we see over a 47-kilometer strike. So when we look at all of those workings across the strike length of the license, in yellow here, they're all the alluvial workings which we've mapped from drone imagery, and they define a very clear corridor which is coincident with a regional shear zone. And within that corridor of alluvial workings, we've got here outlined in red the 16-kilometer strike of hard rock artisanal workings. So this is where we came in initially to focus our efforts and springboard our exploration to the 3rd phase drilling program that's underway now. So zooming in into that area, we completed our 1st phase program, announced results of that early this year, completed 15,000 meters of combined air core and RC. Every single air core traverse, which covered approximately 1 kilometer over 8 kilometer strike of mineralization, intersected high-grade gold. So this then forced us to focus our efforts in one area, which we did up in the northeast here. We got multiple good results, both at surface and high-grade results at depth, confirming continuity. So zooming into that top northeast corner, we've drilled now over 3 kilometer strike in our second phase. That program was recently completed, over 22,000 meters drilled, and again, we intersected multiple high-grade results, both at surface and at depth, within roughly 160 meter spaced drill traverses. So we're now looking at our main target, which we call the Owasso main, is approximately 1.7 kilometers of strike of mineralization, where we've got good grade intercepts and in 160 meter spaced air core traverses, notwithstanding some exceptional hits at the Timele target down here and the Owasso targets out to the east. But we're really focusing our efforts in the Owasso main target zone. Just to show the extent, so we're not just dealing with the Owasso area, we've got the whole license, which covers 400 square kilometers. And within that, we've flown air mag and defined what we call our regional Adzope-Chira shear zone. Where we've drilled here are the areas in black outlines, our first phase program, and now the second phase program at Owasso, which was just completed. And we're now moving into our third phase program for 50,000 meters of drilling in the areas outlined in red. We've collected soils across the whole license and identified multiple additional targets, including the Yakase target down in the southwest, where we also identified some historical drill collars completed by Anglo Gold and Etruscan Resources. So a lot of news flow to come. Okay, so now moving on to Ghana. So this is where we've made Ghana's first lithium pegmatite discovery and first maiden resource. So the project is exceptionally well located, being within 100 kilometers strike of the capital Accra, and importantly, within 110 kilometers of the operating port of Takoradi. The deposit itself, where we've defined our main resource, is within 800 meters of the national highway, so you really can't get a better location than that. We've drilled in excess of 27,000 meters of RC and diamond, and we've flown air mag over our portfolio and announced our main resource. So the main resource currently stands at 14.5 million tons at 1.31% lithium oxide, and that's JORC compliant in the inferred and indicated category. And it includes a high-grade portion of 4.5 million tons at 1.39% lithium oxide, which is in the indicated category. So the mineralization itself extends over 1.5 kilometers of strike, and mineralization comes to surface, and in some places is up to 100 meters wide at surface and comes down in a wine glass shape. So very well suited for open pit mining with low strip ratios. Now, it's not just the geology that's important. With any lithium pegmatite project, the mineralogy and metallurgy is exceptionally important. Fortunately for us, all of our mineralization is hosted within coarse spodumene minerals, and we don't have any other obscure lithium minerals. Therefore, we are easily able to generate a 6% spodumene concentrate just through a coarse 6.3 millimeter crush and using a density or gravity flow sheet process. So we don't need to go to a flotation process. And this is really important because it keeps your capital costs down and it keeps your operating costs down. Of special note is that in all of the metallurgical test work that we've completed to date, we've been able to generate a 6% plus concentrate, which is very low in contaminants, so less than 1% iron oxide and less than 3% combined sodium potassium. So good high-grade concentrates through a simple metallurgical process flow sheet. And the third piece for any mining project, obviously, is logistics, and we really can't get better than that. So the deposit itself is within 800 meters of the Takoradi Highway, which is within 110 kilometers of the operating port of Takoradi, and we have adjacent high power transmission to the project site. So ticks across all of the logistical aspects. Okay, and now for our something very different, Chad. So this our gold project, and it's a new discovery within a new province. So these are the areas you go to find the low-hanging fruit and to make the big discoveries. And we really do believe we're onto something quite special here in Chad. So where we're looking, so we're up in the northeast of the African continent in what we call the sub-Saharan metacraton. The West African craton to the left here, in relative terms, is a mature terrain. So discoveries that are being made there, you need to look deeper and they cost more to discover. The exploration costs are higher. Likewise in the Congo craton. But the sub-Saharan metacraton really hasn't been touched, and it's only now that we're starting to hear more about it, and in particular the Nubian Shield up in the northeast, where discoveries have been made in Egypt and now more recently in Sudan. But we believe where we are in Chad is where all of the next round of big discoveries will be made. So we've secured 900 square kilometers of tenure, and our most advanced project is the Dorothy project over here. So what we saw when we came onto the ground at Dorothy is over a 1 kilometer strike, what we call the main vein zone. So these are multiple veins up to 1 kilometer long, still open to the north and to the south, and up to 5 veins, anywhere from 1 meter up to 2 to 4 meters thick, steeply dipping. Now, outside of the main vein zone, we have in blue here is what we call the sheeted vein zones, over a 3 kilometer long by 1 kilometer wide zone. And here they're shallow dipping, 1 centimeter up to 10 centimeter thick sheeted veins, so multiple veins over each meter. And these dip at around 25 degrees, and they're cross-cut by the main vein zone, so an earlier phase of mineralization. So this is what really excited us when we came on the ground. We saw a lot of coarse gold, and this is where we focused our attention initially. So we've completed almost 15 kilometers of trenching. We've completed regional air mag and soils. We've had SRK Perth on site complete detailed structural mapping. And the most recent work we did this year was a ground-based IP geophysics survey over the main vein zone. What that's culminated in is what we call our Dorothy target, which is a drill-ready target, where over that 3 kilometer long by 1 kilometer wide zone, within roughly 15 kilometers of trenching, which are these lines you can see running east to west, we've intersected multiple high-grade intervals. The main vein zone, outlined in blue here, over 1 kilometer long, up to 200 meters wide, with high-grade results up to 18 grams per ton, and then outlined in red to the east and to the west are the shallow sheeted vein zones dipping towards the west, averaging 2.5 grams from the results to date. So it's a large footprint anomaly with high confidence from the trenching completed to date, geophysics or IP completed over the main vein zone confirming a coincident chargeability and resistivity anomaly dipping subvertically. So it gives us high confidence to come up and drill that. So that's the next step for Chad. Now, it's not just Dorothy alone. Regionally, we've identified, along with the artisanal workings as well, multiple additional targets. So we've got artisanal workings and repetitions of that same structural setting as Dorothy to the north at Guere, Kalaka, and Nabagay. And from the geological understanding we've garnered to date, we believe we're dealing with an intrusion-related gold system where the gold's associated with Pan-African intrusives that are pushed up into the older rock formations in this area of the Wadai Belt of Chad, and its gold mineralization is associated with these younger intrusives in classic intrusion-related gold settings, where you have structurally prepared hanging wall block fault zones where your gold mineralization is focused within. So in terms of IronRidge investment case, if you're interested in gold and lithium in Africa, this is where you should come to. We've got a lot of news flow coming through with all of our drilling underway in Ivory Coast now, 50,000 meter program, 3 rigs on site. We've got a potential game changer gold assets in Chad with Dorothy, where our next step is to drill. And we've got a very robust lithium project in Ghana, where we've got coarse spodumene, defined resource. We're 1 kilometer from the highway, 110 kilometers from port, and we have essential logistics adjacent to the deposit and all within the pro-mining jurisdiction of Ghana. And finally, we have a strong cash balance with a strong team managing that accordingly. In terms of news flow, so focus is Zarinu, 50,000 meters of drilling underway now, air core and RC, 3 rigs on site, so multiple results coming out from that, with the aim to target a maiden resource and advance the exploration portfolios along Zarinu and within our broader license portfolio there. In Ghana, we're focusing on low-cost value-add initiatives, which will help fast-track development timelines. And in Chad, we're focusing on coming in to drill the Dorothy target. So that's everything for me. Thanks very much, and look forward to seeing you next time.